Finally, look like we got everything connected. Okay, so you ready for your intro?
Yeah.
We'll start the intro. Okay, we'll get ready to bring you live.
Alrighty. Welcome to the Truth Be Told with myself, TbeyB. Hey, Instagram. Hey, Facebook. All y'all guys, if you're listening to me over the air, this is TbeyB live with the Truth Be Told on KUAW Radio. That's knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. If you have a business or an event that you would like sponsor here on KUAW Radio, make sure to send us an email at kuaw985@gmail.com. If you're listening to me over the air or via Periscope or anything like that, and you'd like to watch me live, you can hop over to our Facebook page, which is KUAW Radio. You can watch me live on Instagram, TbeyB. You can watch us live on YouTube, KUAW Radio. Make sure to like and subscribe to all of those pages so that your family and friends are able to connect with the content that we have here on KUAW. As well as all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Periscope, all of them, wherever everywhere, no matter where you get your listening pleasures from. Make sure to look up KUAW Radio, like, share, subscribe to those pages. We truly appreciate it. We are a listener sponsor station, so any love donation that you feel on your heart to bless us with, we definitely will appreciate it. Yes. So guys, it's been a wonderful week. Let me just say that. I do want to say I'm so excited that granted, a lot of things happen, with the Chiefs and everything. I'm very excited about what we're doing in the draft right now. I'm actually excited for Tyrann Mathieu. He got picked up by the New Orleans Saints. It was looking kind of sketchy there to see if he was actually going to get picked up by anyone. But I'm very happy that he did and he found a home because he is a great player. And even though he's not going to be here with us in Kansas City anymore, I wish him well in New Orleans. So shout out to Tyrann Mathieu getting picked up by the New Orleans Saints. I'm so excited. I'm so ready for football season. Like, y'all don't even understand. I'm so ready for football season just to see what we gonna do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody been building these teams. So, to compete with us, and then saying that we lost all our star power because we got rid of Tyree. We didn't got rid of some key players and things like that. So I'm excited to see what this football season has in store for Kansas City. If you ain't a Kansas City fan, I know you're excited too to see what's happening for because we are global. So, we probably got some of all the fans on here, but we love our Chiefs in Kansas City. So therefore, I am just saying shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs and everything that they're doing in the draft right now. I'm sorry, I need to turn on so I can see my comments. I ain't got my iPad hooked on over here. So yes. Okay, so let me see. I was sitting here looking and see what's been going on in the world, like what we could talk about today here on the Truth Be Told. And so I'm gonna go ahead and let's just go and get in here with it. So I was looking and I see this press release about from the Supreme Court got leaked. I didn't found it. So let me see. I actually want to read it to you guys. So I haven't actually read it yet. So I'm gonna read it to you guys. We're gonna read it together in case y'all didn't know about it either. And we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get real into it because abortion has been a thing. You know what I'm saying? And I know I talk about it every now and then, might go into the decision, but we really gonna get into it today because this just, it's just some things that are statement from the president regarding the decision of the draft. We do not know the draft is genuine. Oh, we do know the authenticity of the draft now. That has been confirmed. So let me go back to see if I can actually find it because I thought that was it, but it was not. So now, if you guys are not familiar with Roe versus Wade case, it was a matter of fact, let me just go ahead and look it up so that we all make sure that we are on the same page. Roe versus Wade. So that was a U.S. on the scene landmark decision of the U.S. Supreme Court, which the court ruled that the Constitution of the United States protects a pregnant woman's liberty to choose to have an abortion without excessive government restriction. That was back in 1973. Okay. 1973. Now, Roe versus Wade, see, to me, Roe versus Wade was important because back in those times, women didn't have a lot of room to make decisions for themselves. It was more so of men, their husbands, this, and that. Women were sticking hangers in their cells, throwing themselves down steps, like literally doing anything to not, have children that they didn't want to have. And so, the Roe versus Wade gave an order, and it says that the woman has the liberty to choose, which is how it should be. So with them coming out with this leaked press conference and, basically talking about overturning Roe versus Wade, that just kind of lets me know what type of where our government is headed. And the thing about it is I was having a conversation the other day, and I know a lot of people don't like to have this conversation. Politics is something that people do not want to talk about. They feel like it causes arguments and all this other kind of stuff. But it's something that we need to talk about. We need to talk about what is going on in our things because we get into positions and find ourselves in positions like we're about to find ourselves in with this Roe versus Wade overturn. And the government having access to tell you what you can and cannot do with your body, what you can and cannot do, or who you can and cannot be responsible for, basically forcing women into motherhood. Because at the end of the day, a man, it's always mama's baby, daddy's maybe. Even if a man knows that's his baby, that doesn't mean that he's going to be there. That doesn't mean that he's going to have to stick around or anything. So who gets caught with the burden? So the government is trying to control women, basically, and telling them what they can and cannot do. And then you got to understand, people not just using abortions as birth control. A lot of people do. They use abortion as birth control or things like that or whatever. But a lot of people are not using abortion as birth control. It's honestly, they're not in a position to take care of a child because they can barely take care of themselves. And no one wants to be on food stamps and Section A and daycare assistance and Medicaid and all this other kind of stuff where you got to depend on the government for your livelihood. Don't nobody want to do that. And if you do want to do that, you shouldn't want to do that because I don't want to depend on nobody else for my livelihood but myself. If I bring children into this world, I'm responsible for feeding them. And I have to take on that responsibility. And if I'm not ready to take on that responsibility, I should have the option to choose whether that is what I want to do or not. Okay. And at the end of the day, now, y'all know me. This might take up the whole show. Look, y'all know me. Y'all know I feel like women should be more responsible of who they are procreating with. Also, men, you shouldn't just be spreading your seed across all these different fields and gardens and just producing whatever comes up out, and then not taking responsibility and cultivating that seed to be a useful member of society. You know what I'm saying? Now, but also women should not be sleeping around unprotected and putting themselves in predicaments to have children with men who don't want to be fathers. You control what you do with your body. Everybody will say, oh, I was drunk. Oh, da, da, da. No, that's not no excuse. That is not no excuse. You still know what it is that you're doing. We have to stop using these excuses. That's why I love to saying excuses are monuments of nothingness that build bridges to nowhere. Excuses do not get you anywhere in life. They don't do anything in life. You can always find an excuse. You can find an excuse to not be watching this show right now, but you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always an excuse of something that you could be doing. I could have an excuse of not to be doing this show right now at all, but I am. And I continue to show up every week after week after week. I don't find excuses. Sometimes things come up, you know, it happens. But I ain't like, oh, I'm tired. Oh, I ain't got nothing to talk about. Oh, I have this. Oh, I got too much stuff to do. Oh, I could be washing dishes. You can always find an excuse of why you should not be doing something. Okay? You can always find an excuse. So to me, you know, you don't really have an excuse when it comes to deciding who you're laying down with, or deciding who you're deciding to have a child with, or letting to even be in a position to have a child with. It goes back to sex education. Like, if we're gonna end abortions, do we think about teenage pregnancies? You know how much teenage pregnancies will increase? Rape. People get pregnant off of being raped, and then give the rapist rights to the child? What type of things is that? These are the type of things that you're gonna have to deal with. Then you also have Down syndrome, you have chronic Crohn's disease, you have so many things that can happen in a womb that will cause a woman to abort a child instead of bringing a child into the world to succumb to certain environmental things that may hinder them in life. You know, there's a lot of decisions that go into who women who decide to have an abortion. And then you have a lot of people, well, maybe we'll get into that on the second half, but yeah, so anyway, let me get back into what this thing actually says. So the Supreme Court has voted to strike down the landmark of Roe versus Wade decision, according to an initial draft majority opinion written by Justice Samuel Alito, circulated inside the court and obtained by the political, whatever. The draft opinion is a full-thoughted, unlynched record of the repudiation of the 1973 decision, which granted federal constitution protections against abortion rights, and subsequent 1992 decision, Planned Parenthood versus Casey, that largely maintained the right. Roe was egregiously wrong for the start. When we hold that Roe and Casey must be overruled. He writes in the document labeled as the opinion of the court, it is time to heed the Constitution and return to the issue of abortion to the people's elected representatives. So the people that's elected in these offices have the right to tell you that you need to have a child. Not you, women. Okay, and the thing about it is, the reason that I keep saying women is because the responsibility falls on women solely in some cases, especially if a man does not want to be there. If a man does not want to be there and he chooses not to be there, he don't have to be there. A woman don't have that choice unless she drop her baby off at the shelter. What, we're gonna have more babies in foster care? We already got a system that's not taking care of the children that's in their care right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, we already had those type of issues in the foster care system with people that's supposed to be out here protecting children, CPS, DFS, things like that. We already have problems with those systems now. So now you want to put more children in these systems because you decided that abortion is wrong? Men really sitting up there deciding that abortion is wrong? European white or European elderly men at that, sitting around deciding that abortion is wrong in their eyes. So no, so you shouldn't be able to do that. Anyway, let me continue on reading because I know what it's about. This is truthfully told, and we're gonna be real about it. I know what it's about. Deliberations over controversial cases in the past been fluid. Justices can and sometimes do change their votes as draft opinions circulate, and major decisions can be subjected to multiple drafts and voting trading, sometimes until just days before a decision is unveiled. The court's holding will not be final until it's published, likely in the next 2 months. So we got to keep our eye on this, and we got to keep our track on this, because see, they like to distract us with a lot of things. They like to distract us. We was distracted with Will Smith smacking Chris Rock on the Oscars. The Met Gala just happened. You know, everybody talking about what everybody wore and what they look like and who said what at the after party and all this other kind of stuff. All this gossiping. Things that don't have no substance to our life, to the way of life that we're living. No substance at all. You know, no substance to the things that we have to go through or deal with on a daily basis for the single mother who's out here struggling to feed her child because wages ain't enough to get you to do nothing nowadays. My rent just went up and I'm looking like, whoa, goodness gracious. You know what I'm saying? Infatuation is still happening. The cost of milk, the gas, milk, eggs, water, all this type of stuff. Then you think about formula. They putting all these bad things in the formula and things, but you gonna force a woman to have a baby? Why? So she can depend on the government so y'all can have more control over the people. See, these things are about control. These things are about control. The government, the people in our government wants to control us. They want to be in ultimate control of what it is that we do, what we say, what we can't, all these type of things or whatever. I'm so glad Elon Musk bought Twitter. I hope he brings Trump back. I know this is a touchy subject for a lot of people. Ooh, I know it is because when Trump was in office, y'all couldn't stand me. But this the truth be told, baby. And I'm going to tell you, if Trump was in office, we wouldn't be talking about this right now. We wouldn't be talking about the gas prices. We wouldn't be talking about this abortion things or anything like that because Trump Digger was in that office doing what his job was to do. And that is to run the U.S. corporation, the business. You know what I'm saying? They not in there taking care of business. They giving away $33 million to Ukrainians. And at the same time, they also are accepting refugees. So you sending the money over there and then bringing the people over here. What type of sense do that make? Where our people are already out here struggling, quitting jobs and everything. Our people are already out here struggling and everything like that. But you bringing more people over here. Then you sending the money over there. You ain't sending no more stimulus check. Now you forcing people to bring more children into this world that they have to feed, clothes, school, house, everything. Everything. Who? See, this is when I don't know if my disclaimer played today. So I gotta make sure what I say because this is when you need to really delve deep into the Constitution where it's talk about overthrowing your government. Because who do y'all think y'all are? And then the thing about it is, and we don't want to go vote. We don't want to go vote. We need to go vote because who do these people think they are? And what position are they trying to put us in? What are they trying to do? What is the objective of it? What is the objective of you going after abortions? Can we figure out how to stimulate the economy? Can we figure out how to make rent cheaper? Can we figure out how to make Can we figure out how to make gas cheaper? Can we figure out how to make living in America affordable for the average American, including people of a melanated descent with melanated skin? Can we solve some of the oppression problems that we have in America's justice system while police is out here killing us, while we out here talking about abortions? While we out here trying to force somebody to do something that we ain't got no control over because we ain't the person that got to raise no child. And these children out here, I couldn't imagine, man, some of these generations of children is so messed up. Man, look, I can only imagine the ones that didn't make it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like these are the things that our people are out here. These are the things that our government are out here worried about while they watching our cash app and talking about taxes and sending money to Ukraine and all this other kind of stuff or whatever. But we out here talking about abortion. Abortions, forcing somebody to have somebody to feed, to have somebody to house. Let me get back to the rest of this article because, baby, I'm kind of getting angry. Published like in the next 2 months. The immediate impact of the ruling was drafted in February, would be to end a half-century guarantee to the federal constitution protection of the abortion rights and allow each state to decide whether to restrict or ban abortion. It's unclear if there have been subsequent changes in the draft. No draft decision in modern history of the court has been disclosed publicly while a case was still pending. The unpreceded revelation is bound to intensify the debate over what was already the most controversial case on the dockets to this term. The draft opinion offers an extraordinary window into the justice deliberations in one of the most consensual cases before the court in the last 5 decades. Some court watchers predict that the controversy majority will slice away at the abortion rights without flatly overturning the 49-year precedent. The draft shows that the court is looking to reject Roe's logic and legal protection. It's a reason for essentially weak, and decision had damaged consequently as far from bringing about national settlement of the abortion issue. Roe and case have inflamed debate and deepened division. A person familiar with the court's deliberations said that 4 of the other Republican appointed justices, Clarence Thomas, Neil Gerson, Brent Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett, have voted with also in the conference held among the justices after hearing oral arguments in December, and that lineup remains unchanged as of this week. The 3 Democrat-appointed justices, Stephen Barrett, Sonia Sotomayor, and Ellen Kavanaugh, are working on 1 or more dissents, according to the person. However, Chief Justice John Roberts will ultimately vote, and whether he will join the already written opinion or draft his own is unclear. The document labeled as first draft of the majority. Hold on, how long is this? I'm not about to read all this. Y'all gotta, if y'all want to know more about it, then write in the comments, write me in a message. I shoot you a link. You could probably just Google it. But this is outrageous. This is outrageous. I cannot believe what I'm reading, what I'm hearing, anything like that, because this is just, it's just I'm just sick to my stomach at the fact that people really think that it is within their right to make these decisions about other people's lives. That the government think they have the right to make these decisions about other people's lives. That men sitting up here think they have the right to make these decisions about women. I mean, I just want y'all to think about what this would do to America. Do you know how many children are homeless in America right now? Do you know how many children are hungry in America right now? Do you know how many children teen homelessness? All these type of things take into effect. Do you understand how much women who really don't want to have babies will go back to inflicting self-inflicted abortions, or doctors performing, or ex-doctors performing illegal abortion services, and all these type of things that this will stir up? Now, granted, they did say in that the states will have the right to choose. But what gives the states the right? What gives anybody the right to talk about whether or not, see, I don't feel like nobody has this right but God. Honestly, it shouldn't be up to anyone in in a human form in its plain manifestation of whether somebody can or shall not have a child that they are responsible for raising and taking care of and feeding and housing. I still go back to all these things because, baby, look, I'm telling you, without me budgeting my own things, I don't know how I do it some months. And I just got me. I mean, I am the single rich auntie. I spoil my nieces and nephews when I can, and I do spend a lot of money on my nieces and nephews and everything, but they in my budget. I couldn't imagine having to add my own children. You know what I'm saying? But I'm more responsible in that things, and that's another thing that we're going to talk about on the second half of the show, because as a people, we got to be more responsible, because it's a reason why they're doing that, and it ain't because of us. It ain't because of us. It's not because of this melanin. You know what I'm saying? They afraid of us. The reason why they're doing it is probably because of us, but it ain't for us, if you get what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, the thing about it is because When they start putting those Planned Parenthoods in every neighborhood, they put them in our neighborhoods, but they didn't think that it would be theirs. The European women traveling to them the most. You know what I'm saying? Like, see, here's the thing. Our people have been so conditioned to think that welfare was something that helped us, that we actually have some of our people, I'm saying we because I'm not in that category, but some of our people, they actually have babies just to sustain welfare, just to get welfare, just to have welfare. So they ain't aborting no babies. Child support, all that. They not aborting no babies. You know what I'm saying? It ain't us. Trust and believe. It ain't us that they trying to stop in them abortion clinics. It's their people they trying to stop in them abortion clinics because they're scared of extinction. So if they go ahead and take it that way, and yes, it don't seem right. And you know what can we do besides get out and vote, register to vote, know who exactly you are putting into office, take accountability to what is going on in the country that you live in, and don't just write yourself in. Know that you are part and parcel of the government. Know that you are part and parcel of the government. They don't function without the people. We are the people. Quit thinking. See, another problem with that is, and I know we didn't have this show, we talked about this before, but another point of that is what we're claiming to be. We don't include ourselves in the Constitution. When we think about the Constitution, we're written into the Constitution. We don't include ourselves in the preamble where it says we the people. Because according to our mind, we've been programmed that we didn't get into the Constitution, the 13th or 14th Amendment? I know one of them is for vote. You know what I'm saying? But one of those amendments, we was amended into the Constitution. Yeah, when you claim to be Black, when you know your nationality, you know that you are part of we are the people. And we got to read the Constitution. We got to learn the Constitution so that we know what the government can and cannot get away with. And we can't just allow them to get away with things just because we are ignorant to the fact. See, they're counting on us to be ignorant to the facts of what they can and cannot do so that they can do whatever it is that they want to do. And when we don't learn and when we don't teach and when we don't study, we don't uphold it. We have to uphold the Constitution because they cannot do this. It is against the Constitution. They're not rewriting the Constitution. They can't do it, but if we just sit back and allow them to do whatever it is that they want to do, they're going to keep doing whatever it is that they want to do because we don't say nothing. We don't do nothing. Man, in France, I remember when the government was over there doing what they was doing, man, those streets were so packed with protests everywhere. They wasn't scared of the police. They wasn't scared of nothing. They was ready to go through that mud, everybody. It's more of us as we think of we are the people than it is the government. Then it is people that's sitting in there making the decision. It's more of us. We got to overturn that. We cannot let that happen. We cannot, because the thing about it is it's going to force more children it's going to be more unwanted children into this world. That's more child trauma, foster children, CPS cases, homeless children, hungry children, like all these type of things that we're putting into the world of just having unwanted children, child abuse. All these problems that occur because of forced pregnancies, because of forced childbirth. Some people, and not even the medical reasons, they're not even taking into consideration the medical reasons that people have abortions. Sometimes it's either you or the baby. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot of different things that we have to think about, and we cannot just sit back and allow these type of things to happen. We have to take action. I'm talking too much and didn't even have nothing to talk about. I gotta take a break. Give us time to pay our bills and get our sponsors out the way. I ask that you guys be patient, take this time to like, share this video so that you guys, your family and friends can tap in with the second half. So I'm gonna take a break right now and I'll be right back. Hey, Instagram. Okay, and I'm back. I appreciate you guys bearing with us, taking us time to get our sponsorship out the way. Again, if you have a business or an event that you would like sponsor here on KUAW, make sure to send us an email at KUAW95 at 985@gmail.com. We are Kansas City's global community radio station. So make sure to help us help you so that we can be of asset to the community. All right, so I know the first half of this show was kind of heavy. We were talking about these abortion laws and things like that. So I want to lighten it up a little bit. And because I did see that Biden was supposedly, I forget the date, but supposedly is going to be reducing 70% of America's student loans by $10,000. Okay. So, and this could and can have hurt you. I know you guys might not know, but I am a financial wealth consultant. I do have a wealth consultant business. So these are things that I study and talk about and things like that just to keep up on. So this could either help or hurt you, right? One, it can help you with your debt to income ratio by reducing your debt by $10,000. Okay, so it definitely can help you in that way. If your student loans are less than $10,000, it can actually harm you because you will be losing an installment line of credit on your credit profile. So you would have to build that component back up. Now, all of us don't fit in this category. One, he said only 70% of Americans he's going to reduce by 10,000. I hope I'm in that 70%, but if I ain't, well, you know what it is. I got about $27,000 worth of student loan debt. So that $10,000, it'll help, but you know, they still gonna be there. So definitely, but I just think it's funny. I think it will be something great for his administration to get handled because I don't think Biden is going to get voted for another 4 years. I don't see that happening. I really think we're going to have a woman next president. Fingers crossed. I wish Michelle Obama would run, but she won't. But I definitely think that it's about time that we had a woman president. I hope it ain't Kamala. Ain't nobody voting for her. We ain't heard from that lady, and I don't know when the last time we heard from her. But anyway, I think it would be great for Biden's administration, something to do. You know, presidents always try to do something towards the end of them terms to make America happy so that they can get them votes to get in there a whole another 4 years and sit in there and do nothing and give money to everybody else except the American people. So I definitely think that it will be something great done for a thing. I think it'll help a lot of Americans as far as like I said, their debt to income ratio. And it will help people be in a better position to position themselves financially and things that you know they want to do as far as credit cards, things like that. Because I'm with the student loan forgiveness because I feel like it should be free anyway. Honestly. If you're gonna go into college, you're gonna go into higher education, things like that, I feel like it should be free because it is something that is needed to sustain yourself, depending on what it is that you want to do. But it's something that is needed to sustain yourself. Sustain yourself in America. You know, so I definitely am with the student loan forgiveness. I think that would be something that will help some Americans tremendously. Do I think they're doing it for the right reasons? No, I think they're doing it just to get recognition. We've been talking about reducing student loan or eliminating student loan debt for I don't know how many years, probably decades. People have been trying to get somebody to eliminate student loan debt. So I just think it's something that we could do, just like when Obama did Obamacare. In the world, you know, the healthcare things and the little system that they could do it in little ways. It's like sprinkling a little bit of happiness on the people. If y'all can't tell by my shows by now, I'm not a big fan of the government. I'm not a big fan of the government or whatever, just because I feel like they just do things to sprinkle a little bit of happiness on us, and in the background they're still holding us down, they're still oppressing us in some way, and they're still controlling us in some shape or form or fashion or whatever. You know, they're still controlling us in a sense, or trying to control us in a sense, just like when we was talking about the abortion law. So I know it's a protest going on in Texas. I'm pretty sure you guys could probably check out your city, because I'm sure it's going to be protests popping up everywhere. So wherever city you find yourself in, make sure to check out and see what is going on. If that's something that you believe in, if that's something that you are against, if that is something that, you know, you have an opinion about, make sure that your opinion gets heard. Make sure that your opinion, you know, is voiced. And make sure that you just get out there and don't be feared. Don't let fear, see, that's another thing I want to talk about. And that's what I'm in the show talking about. And that's gonna be fear. Don't let fear or the fact or the point of maybe standing out in a crowd. Mr. Walker, what are you talking about? Okay, the part of standing out in a crowd or going against the majority of what people are doing stop you from being who you are. That's just like I was watching a motivational video a couple of days ago on a training I was on. And it was a guy speaking, and he was saying, you know, don't fall victim to the people. See, we got to take an account into the people that we are around. You know what I'm saying? They say you are within the 2 to 3% of, especially income wise and things like that, of the 5 people that you hang around the most. And see, but don't become subjective, because the 5 people that you hang around the most, they might not have no respect. So they might not speak when they see somebody or speak when they spoken to. But if that's who you are, you do you. Don't be afraid to be you, to fit into what everyone else is doing. Don't be afraid to stand out and stand up for what you believe is right. You know what I'm saying? Because we get caught up in those type of things a lot. You don't want to go against the grain. We don't want to go against our friends. We don't want to stand out. We don't want to stand out in a crowd. We don't want to be different from everybody else. We want to go along with what society is going along with. But society doesn't always steer you in the right direction. The government does not always steer you in the right direction. Everybody thought welfare was the bomb. Till today, when you look at today and see what welfare has actually done to our families, to our broken, the families that we have, to our men that are in jail behind child support, to our women who cannot get up out of the cycle of Section 8 living. So we never expand past a certain way of life. We still have that poor mentality because of the things that we have been programmed to subject ourselves to. And the things that we do, you know, the things that we don't take the time to reprogram, or we don't take the time to reinstill in our children, or to teach our children in the ways that they should go, or the ways that they, or the things that they should do, or the things that they should look into. Let me make sure I ain't got no comments on here, because I ain't even been looking at the video, y'all. I'm sorry. All right, that ain't no comments. But oh, I think somebody said, hey, April. Oh, I don't know. But yeah, so we have to make sure that we don't have that fear in our hearts. And so if you have an opinion on what is going on in the world today with the abortion laws, and there is a protest in your city, go out, because this is wrong. And we need people to go out and be fearful. See, our people need to release that fear. We got to release that fear of what we think somebody can do to us, because we're stronger in numbers. And it's probably more people that think like you than you think. You know, and it's oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I've been getting these texts. I'm in a challenge right now, so I got to make sure that I yeah, keep on top of it. But definitely, we have to make sure that we are able to stand on our own opinions. I know it's a lot of things y'all don't agree with that I say on the Truth Be Told Show. There's a lot of people that know me in person that don't agree with on conversations that we have outside of the Truth Be Told. If y'all think I'm crazy on the Truth Be Told, you should hear me talk in person about a subject. You can get me going depending on what it is, because I study a lot, you know, and I have I don't have that fear. You know, fear is not something that I have. I am who I am. I believe what I believe, and I'm not afraid to speak on what I believe, and what I know, and what I've studied, because I know the things that I know, and those are the things that make up my mind and who I am today. And I know right from wrong. And everybody, see, people only perceive things to their level of understanding. So you spreading knowledge over someone, they might not get it right away, but they're going to remember that seed has been planted. They're going to remember, they're going to hear it sometimes again when it come up. It's going to come click into them. They read something, they're going to remember, oh man, TbeyB said that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to click. because truth never changes. We can't live in this fear that thinking that the government has all this control. They don't control us. We control them. They are for us, not the other way around. And we have to take that step, and we have to take that confidence, and we have to move like that. I got about 10 minutes left. So at the end of the day, I also want to speak on just being more responsible and taking more accountability in who you are as a person. See, if we're going to think these abortion, if we want to change the abortion laws and overturn Roe versus Wade, then maybe we need to change the way sex is taught in school. Maybe we need to talk more about sexual education. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we need to teach it a little bit different. See, we can't just sit up here and say, no, can't nobody have an abortion if we're not going to take the time and the effort to prevent the things that cause for people to have abortions. Like, can we hold rapists more accountable for what it is that they do? Can we educate our children more so that we don't have the same amount of teen pregnancies that we've been having, or we don't have to worry about trying to abort a child for a child having a child? And we're not putting stress on a mother to take care of her grandchild like it's her child, because her child is still a child. But also more responsibility in knowing what it is that your children are doing, taking more responsibility in raising your children, and stop letting the TV raise them and society raise them and things. Know what's going on in your children's lives. I have read this article I've seen, and I'm gonna close you out with this. I have read this article. A teacher said that, you know, she sewed up in school and no one in the class of what, 25, 30 students, nobody had their assignments done. How, when you go home every day, your parents I remember going home every day. My mama, soon she called me on the phone. She seen me come in the house. When you got homework, make sure you get that homework done. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. She on the line if she not there in person. She was a housewife, so sometimes, most of the time, she was at home when I got home. Do your homework all the way up through high school. I'm still a senior. You got a paper to be studying for. Study, like, stay on top of those things. Actually raise your children, and don't be looking for society to raise them, because see, society raise them, tell them that sex is for pleasure. Then your child out there having sex, then get pregnant. Now society gonna tell you that that child can't have an abortion. It's on you. You're responsible for raising that child. Because if your daughter 14, you responsible for raising that child, because can't no 14-year-old get no job. Ain't no 14-year-old get no job. And then what, they gonna drop out of school? Then you hindering them in life. So it's on you to raise that child. Come on now. So if that gets passed, it's gonna take more responsibility in what it is that we do and taking accountability in raising our children. If they overturn Roe versus Wade, parents are gonna become more responsible for what it is that their children are doing and learning. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, school didn't teach me about sex. My mama taught me about sex. That's probably why I view it and treat it the way that I do, because my mama was there to teach me and tell me what it is that I needed to know. She didn't depend on the school system. She didn't depend on the TV. She didn't depend on YouTube. Nobody to teach me what it is that she wanted me to know. So as parents, we got to take more responsibility for that, because if not, we're going to have a lot more teen pregnancies going on. And you ain't going to be able to reverse Roe versus Wade. You're not going to be able to just take your daughter to take care of it. Then I think it's going to be putting more, they probably trying to push more birth control, because they coming out with the male birth control. Then you got the woman birth control. I can't stand when women just put their children on, or put their daughters on birth control. Because what birth control does to your body, what it does to your mind, they want to pump us full of medicine so that we have to depend on big pharmacy more than we have to depend on big pharmacy today. So they want to pump us in front of medicine because they got all these side effects and things that are done. So because you know what's going to happen? Oh, ain't no abortions. As soon as your daughter turns 13, 14, you're going to be ready to put her on birth control because you don't want to take care of no child. You don't know what she out here doing. You're not taking accountability for actually being accountable for how your child is raised. You know what I'm saying? So what they gonna do? Put them on birth control. Then you're gonna have more problems with women that they didn't have. Do you know how many women get off of birth control and discover the problems that birth control was causing for their life, for their mental, for their health, all these type of different things. And then this male birth control, we don't know what this male birth control gonna do because this is an experiment. But our people gonna be the first guinea pigs up there. You know what I'm saying? Mother's gonna be putting their teenage sons on birth control, so they ain't bringing home no possible babies. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be a huge thing. I can see it now. I can see what is going on right now as it's unfolding. We'll see in 2 months, because they've been talking about this male birth control. They've been talking about this women, how lack of women, or how many women are turning from birth control. You know, that's been a whole nother thing as well. And so then we talk about this abortion. We talk about welfare. We talk, man, it's just so much that goes into abortion. It's not abortion. Abortion is just the top of it. But there's so many underlying issues that you have to address first. Did they pass it? So they haven't passed it. They said 2 months, but the draft was released. They released a draft that's basically saying that Roe versus Wade, as it stands right now, is going to be getting overturned, because the majority of the Supreme Court is voting to overturn it. But they said it's just a draft. It was leaked. It's normally not leaked, you know, as things are progressing and things are happening, but it was leaked. So therefore, they said it will be coming official or becoming a vote within the next 2 months. So we'll see what's going to happen. That's why all these protests about to start popping up and things like that. I just got a notification for a protest going on here in Houston. So these protests is about to start popping up all over the country and everything like that, or whatever, because this is a crazy subject. This is crazy for the government to even be trying to control. You know what I'm saying? This is something crazy, that for them to even be thinking that they can tell us what we can and cannot do, because they're not taking care of no babies. If they were, we wouldn't have child homelessness or child hunger going on. We wouldn't have all the problems that we have with DFS and CPS and foster care systems and group homes and things like that. We wouldn't have all these problems if they cared much about these children as they're trying to make it seem. We wouldn't have these problems today, because they'll be taking care of the children that's here, instead of trying to force people to have children that they don't want to take care of. Because you can't force nobody to have no child that they want to take care of. Granted, they shouldn't have laid down and put themselves in that position, but that's all off of education. That goes back to the way we are raising our daughters. That goes back to the things that we are subjecting our daughters to, the mentality that we are raising our daughters in. I'll never forget when Beyonce said we raise our daughters to be mothers and wives, but we don't raise our sons to be fathers and husbands. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference. And how you raise your daughter and how you raise your child. Why? Because mama's baby, daddy's maybe. It's the same thing with these abortions. I'll never forget my mama told me that it's your responsibility. It always falls on the woman. God gave us this gift. I don't care what Christianity will tell you, saying it was a sin, saying it was a curse. No, it is a gift. God gave us this gift, and you're supposed to protect that gift, and you're supposed to be in control of that gift. I don't care if the women say, "Oh, well, men know too." Yeah, but God didn't give men the ability to have children. He gave them the ability to produce them. They have the ability to bring life into this world, but they are not the portal. They are not the portal. It is not their choice at all. Women control is who lay down them without protection. You control what you do with your body. So women gonna have to start being more accountable. We're gonna have to start being more accountable of what we're teaching our daughters, how we're raising our daughters. We're gonna have to be more accountable of that. And it starts with sexual education. If you want to put it on the school system, all right, but the school system has failed us from financial literacy and below. Our people are definitely, the school system been failing us. The school system is a pipeline for prison for our people. The school system ain't never been for us. Ever since they combined them and what was that? What am I thinking of? Segregation. When they desegregated schools and everything like that, that wasn't for us. That was not for us. That was not for our benefit. That was not for the benefit of our children. We're going to have to start being more accountable, because if this passed, this is not going to be a good thing. It's not. This is not going to be a good thing. And then you'll be, I guess the thing about it is it's not saying that it's going to be illegal. What it's saying is it's going to give the state, do you believe the man has a say so? I don't understand what you mean by do I believe the man has a say so? Oh, and whether you and if you have a child or not, I do believe the man has a say so. And I think women need to be taking more accountability into what men say, because men will tell you if they don't want to be a daddy. And if a man don't want to be a daddy and he don't want to be a father, you shouldn't be doing child producing activities with that man to be putting yourself in a place to have a baby by a man that's not ready to be, nor does he want to be a father. So now you putting him on child support, you on welfare, you doing all this, and he in jail. All you did was make him a legal slave. All because of a decision that he told you that he didn't want to happen. Women lie about being on birth control. Women try to think babies trap men. All kind of mentalities that women think out here. That we have to make sure that cycle does not continue. We have to make sure that we are, if this is the type of day and age that we're going into, we got to make sure that these next generation go into with the proper education to be useful members of society. We can't let them just continue on going with all this, and then we forcing 14, 15-year-olds to have babies and they can't even get a job. Baby, rent is high. Food is high. Clothes are high. Everything is high right now. You can't be forcing no baby on nobody. But what they say, oh, you shouldn't be doing baby making activities. But everywhere you turn, what they talking about? Sex sales, what they promoting, even in cartoons. Like, it's always being promoted. It's always being promoted. So they're always promoting sex and putting that into children's minds and putting these into the minds of thinking that that's okay. Even in the music and adults, we talk about side pieces. We talk about polygamy, men cheating, being dogs. Look at Future. Future just dropped a whole CD for toxic men. Like, it's okay to treat women like that. But women, see, the thing about it is, I always tell people, women don't understand. See, we've been programmed, and I gotta go. I know I'm running out of time, but we've been programmed to think for some reason that we are lesser than men. Men have a greater standard. Men in the society, we've been programmed to think that we are lesser than men, when really that's not the case. We are greater than men. I hate to say it, but we are. If we rose our standards up, if we made our standards higher, the men will rise up to meet our standards. But when you got women that'll lay down for a man for $40, you know what I'm saying? When you got women out here that'll do anything, when you got women out here that don't care about a man having a woman, when you got women out here that think being a side piece is okay, or think that's cool and things like that, then you still got women that's here on this lower totem pole. You gonna have men that's gonna go for those lower totem pole women. But see, if we all rise up, the men won't have no choice but to rise up. And that's on about how we raise our daughters. That goes on with the what we are putting into our daughters' head, because see, now we like to say, you don't need no men ain't nothing, dudes ain't, I almost cuss. You know what I'm saying? We put all those type of things in their head or whatever, and those are the wrong things, because that's what society has taught us to do. But then we have all these problems or whatever, and we're thinking that, oh, he got me pregnant, and he didn't want to take care of the baby. He told you he didn't want a baby. He didn't claim you. He didn't make you his woman. He didn't make you a wife. What makes you think he wants you to be the mother of his child? So that's why you find yourself by yourself. We got to take more responsibility of what it is that we do, and that goes with sexual education. I got to get up out of here, but real quick, I'm a little bit over time, but real quick, Holy Covenant of the Asiatic Nation, ye are the children of one Father, provided for by his care. The breast of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with our brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in our Father's house. When you separate in the world, remember the relations that bondeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If our brothers in adversity, assist him. If our sisters in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy Father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all, and your love to each other. Peace.
LPFM 98.5. If you want to interact with any of our guests or have any questions, LPFM 98.5. LPFM 98.5. If you want to interact with any of our guests or have any questions or comments or concerns, please call on 816-599-6893. If you want to email your comments or questions or concerns, just tell us that this is your favorite show to KUAW985@gmail.com. Yes, this is another stop on my summer vacation of Black-owned businesses. Why Black-owned businesses? LPFM 98.5.